got early access to Gemini's 1.5 Pro, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've done with it just day one. Now, when you get to Gemini, you're going to be offered up into a AI Studio. The first thing that you see is their chat window. You can make 3 different kinds: a chat prompt, freeform prompt, and a structured prompt. So stick around, we're going to talk about each one of them. You can get a good idea of what it's capable of. You see what I've done with it. The Training of Wild Animals, very fascinating book that I've read, had a story about an escaped lion in Birmingham 120 years ago. But I uploaded a PDF of this book, and I asked it pretty simply, tell me the story of the escaped lion in Birmingham, including when they pretended to have found the lion and how they caught him. The bustling fairground in Birmingham, England was alive with excitement. The year was 1889, and the renowned Bostock Animal Exhibition was the main attraction. Well, I'm putting together animations for it, so stay tuned to hear the whole thing. For now, know that it did a great job condensing and retelling the story that I was looking for out of the text. Stick around to the end and you're going to see everything in between, what else it can do. And this is early access, so I've only had a day to mess around with it. But you can also do what's called a freeform or a structured prompt. And I've done kind of some of each, you can see. And the way that I used the chat prompt was talking about the story with the lion that escaped in Birmingham. And the way that I used the freeform prompt was I plugged these pictures in. This is the freeform window. So right here's a quick example. I give it 4 pictures from some time we were playing Barbies. Write a short, engaging story based on these 4 pictures. It should include the description of the 2 ladies in the lightsaber battle on the beach. And I'm going to let it figure out what it thinks is happening here, which should be pretty clear to us. But what does it think? Here we are.
So they're like clashing swords.
Yeah.
And Ray lowers her sword and says, "Who are you?" And she says, I was the Queen of Naboo." The woman shook her head. "It's a long story," she said. "A story of betrayal, loss, the dark side." Ray lowered her lightsaber, her heart filled with a mixture of pity and confusion.
This is great. Spoiler alert, it has decided the lady in the crimson gown is Queen Amidala, and she does not get struck down here, but rather gives it a very hopeful ending where the 2 women walk away with a lot of work to do. Good job, Gemini. So using the same freeform, I thought I'd give it a bit more of a tougher example, and so I plugged it in with an AI animation that I made and asked it to analyze the scenes. And you can see for yourself how it did with this. The chicken has his eyes closed. Yellow dress. Jump mask. Rabbit playing the guitar. Rabbit and dog in the hallway. Boat looks into the camera, pulls on the rope and smiles. A rabbit holds a pocket watch. A clown holds a giant blue balloon. Playing with it a little bit more, I had to come up with a good story that kind of follows the plot laid out in those scenes. See about making a voiceover for that. This is the final structured prompt. Follow the mouse on the screen. I showed where you can put in anything here and ask it anything and it'll tell you an answer. And this is called the chat window. We did conundrums. Help the user navigate these complex ethical dilemmas. And I gave it some conundrums. And I chose the ones that I liked from down here. So I tested my prompt and I gave it an input. The future of cities conundrum.
I have a question for you about the future of cities. 100 years ago, the most modern cities looked like this, and then this, and now this. Change can happen quickly, but not everything new is always good. So what does the most exciting future of cities actually look like? Let me show you 3 options that would all protect humanity from natural disasters. In Future X, some people live in cities underwater and travel using high-tech submarines. In Future Y, some people live in cities floating in the clouds and travel using flying vehicles. In Future Z, some people live in cities underground and connected.
Which one?
The second.
Cities in the sky?
Yes.
I want you.
That's cool.
So We can talk about it more. I'm going to show you something. I have this neat little app. It's called Copilot. Do you know what a Copilot is?
No.
Do you know what a pilot? Do you know what a pilot is?
Yes.
What does a pilot do?
Flies a plane.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think a co-pilot does? So co means connect together. So co-pilot means he flies with the pilot. So this helps me, especially if it's a long video, I can come over here and I say, generate video highlights. You see that? And it tells me about the Astronova School. And I took this information, you understand, and I brought it over here. Look, the future of cities conundrum. And I asked it to tell me about these things about it up here, all these different words. Well, here's the big answer. So let's talk about, you said the floating cities. Let's consider the potential consequences. What do you think that means? What could go wrong? It says, while offering stunning views and potential mobility, floating cities raise questions about energy consumption, vulnerability to extreme weather, and the potential for social isolation and disconnection from the ground. Oh, this talks about the good things, bad things. See,
I want to see the bad things.
if you want to know about underground cities, they raise concerns about the psychological impact of living underground. How's it going to make people feel?
Why?
Just never getting to come out and be in the fresh air and access to light. Because we got to have sunlight.
What if we could come up every day and go outside and then come back down
Well,
to
that'd be
bed?
cool. If the underground city had a big park on top of it, and so you just lived underground but got to go spend, that would make more sense.
Spend the
Wouldn't it?
day there. Spend the days up there.
So I did this with all the Astronova. See, I've got the food conundrum, the animals conundrum. Once it did one that I liked down here, I went and plugged it in up here as an example and did some more. And each one that I liked, I put up here, the future of fun. Remember that one?
I want to do the future of the sleep.
I did that one too, and I think, look here.
I want to see that one and see which one I choose.
We did just that and talked a lot more about conundrums with her. But wrap it up with Google Gemini. For Google AI Studio, turns out it's pretty intuitive and it's really easy to get started with. Whether you're going to be using the API or just working in the studio with these prompt windows, they have a lot of good information. And if you're interested in seeing how to get started, here's one that I actually used to put in a funny picture of Batman. And you can come up with different ideas for what you want your Batman. Introducing the ultimate party starter, DJ Batman. But obviously, there's a lot more utility here than playing with fat Batman pictures. But this is another way to use the structured prompt, which could really facilitate a lot of different work processes. That's just a quick dive into Google 1.5 Pro. Check out this video right here, find out more about how you can use AI in your life today.